Hello guys, long time no see. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ashley Brianna Eve, and here we talk about the stars and breaking pop culture news through the stars. So if you don't like tarot, astrology, or human design, probably not the place for you. I love doing commentary, but we always bring it back to what do the stars say? What does the energy say? So I just wanted to first thank you guys. For those that are community members, you know that over the last 3 weeks, it's been really hard here where I had my husky enter the hospital very unexpectedly. He came home. He was supposed to be improving. And then very tragically, a week and a couple days ago, passed away in our kitchen. So I missed you guys. I'm so happy to be back. I'm going to try not to cry. So I just wanted to thank you guys for the support. I read every comment you guys left. I read everything. It was just a lot to respond to everything. So I missed you guys a lot. And what better day to come back, right? Thank you, Blake Lively, for giving me something else to focus on. I also have to introduce you guys. Thank you so much, Hope. My heart was just so empty. For people new to the channel, you're just gonna have to hang out for a second while I catch up with everyone. My heart was so empty, and I actually found a little husky puppy to bring into the family. So if I look tired, I am. I feel like I'm too old to deal with puppies. So one day he's taking a nap right now. I will introduce you guys to Tundra, and Tundra has been helping me heal the last few days as well. So it's been a lot. It's been a whirlwind, but I have to say I'm so excited to be back with you guys, and I just appreciate you guys being so supportive while I took some time away, especially since so many of you guys are new to the community and everyone didn't miss a beat in just sending your love. So thank you. Yes. Her ego is out of control. It is wild. Guys, we are going to do the astrology first because the astrology is wild. It's probably not going to be anything surprising, right? You guys are going to say like, yeah, of course. She is just doing this for power. She's just doing it for control. But we love astrology here. So let's look at the astrology. We're going to do a tarot pull. And then we'll pull up the amended complaint and just some interesting things. I'm not going to go from top to bottom, mostly because I'm trying to do this with nap time with the puppy. My schedule will be a little bit off, but I want to look at some stuff from the amended complaint and also look at a couple of things that Legal Bites had pointed out in regards to things that changed and how she's still manipulating the narrative. But let's start here, guys. Yeah, she's using IG comments. We're going to talk about that, my friend. Oh my goodness. Now, I would say number one, when we're looking at the astrology. So when I looked at the astrology this morning to see what the heck, I was sleeping last night when it came through. I woke up at 2 to do 2 a.m. potty with the puppy, saw that it dropped. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not streaming at 2 a.m. I'm on Eastern time in Ontario. So when I pulled up the astrology this morning, I went back to February 17th just to see what was going on. Now, I wanted to look at it from a very neutral place. Is this done in good faith? Was this you guys are like, no. And I hear you. Was this amended lawsuit done in good faith? What's really going on? So we looked at, the community, we're looking at February 17th right now, and the moon really caught my attention, and the 12th house is something that's going to be really important as well. But we're going to start here with the moon. So on the 17th, now I do esoteric astrology, so there might be some points you guys aren't used to seeing. We have Zeus. Black Moon Lilith tends to be one that everyone's familiar with. Both of those retrograde. Hecate might not be one that you are used to seeing in astrology, but a dark goddess point that I work with quite frequently. We have Vesta as well. Now, this is pretty significant because this is all in the 7th house. And we also have Poseidon retrograde. This is a lot of dark energy that the moon was moving through. So when we look at what is going on in the astrology from the 17th to the morning of the 19th, the key takeaway is smear tactics, hidden agendas, deception, and illusion. So for this piece here, watch the moon here. So just in Libra, moves over, so hops over both Zeus and Black Moon Lilith, who are retrograde. And then that's going into the 18th, from the 17th to the 18th, and then 18th to 19th, the moon hops over the rest. So this is a lot of shadows. This is a lot of exposing raw, vengeful energy, especially when we have so much retrograde. Lilith and Scorpio can be unhinged. Lilith, when we're looking at Lilith in this energy, she was in Scorpio on the 18th. So we can see her there. And then she moves over to Libra on the 19th. So this is energy of like, she's having her last hurrah within Scorpio of being a vengeful ass, right? And so this is the energy that the moon was moving through as we come into the 19th. So what we're seeing here is triggering, like the moon's triggering that like undercurrent of emotions, raw emotions, grudges, power struggles, the buried truth underneath the surface. And this, if I saw this in anyone else's chart, even looking away from the amended lawsuit, I'd be like, something's boiling. Like someone is seething. Someone under the surface, they might be like pretending to put on a pretty face, but they are weaponizing something based on their emotions. So this is the energy. Hello, Mel. I missed you guys so much. Hello, hello. Thanks, guys. I couldn't see the comments when I was over on the astrology. It's so nice to see you guys. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Honestly, it's just healing to be here with you guys, if I'm being honest. I love this community. Hello, hello, Rebecca. It's so nice to see you guys. Hi, P. Hi, Mel. Oh my goodness. It's so nice to see everyone. So we are just breaking down the astrology for those just hopping on. Then we'll do the tarot quick, and then we'll pull up some of the key things from the amended lawsuit. Yeah, so that's like the number one thing that caught my eye as soon as I pulled this up. That moon is moving through a lot of manipulative energy, a lot of dark energy, and especially with Zeus retrograde, that energy with, and there was a Scorpio energy and a Libra for Lilith, but still retrograde energy, especially with Zeus, that's ego and power grabs. This is like, I refuse to lose. If anyone knows Zeus from Greek mythology, like Zeus is unhinged. I love Greek mythology and I love Zeus in terms of esoteric astrology, but Zeus is kind of unhinged. And this energy here is like, I'm not going to lose. Like I will manipulate, I will power control, I will do what I need. And this is coming into like the amended lawsuit being dropped, right? So what this tells me is it's not done in good faith, which we all know. Like, is anyone surprised? We're like, oh, I am shook. I am completely shook that this lawsuit was not done in good faith. The astrology, it backs it up. It backs it up. So that was the main thing that I was seeing when I looked at it over the last couple of days. It's very significant. But also another thing that caught my energy or my attention, and my energy, was the 12th house. We have a lot of energy. So I'm going to go through. So if you guys aren't aware of all these symbols, just so you can see what's going on here. So we have Ceres, obviously the sun. I'm sure everyone understands and knows the symbol of the sun. Maybe not if you're new to astrology. We have Mercury. We have the Vulcan here. So the Vulcan's always going to be close to the sun, but it's going to give you a unique energy because it depends on what else is around Vulcan, right? So this is pretty significant. It's a little bit removed from the sun, and Vulcan's trapped between Mercury and Saturn. And Saturn can be a really tough energy, especially in this position. This symbol here is Psyche. We also have the North Node, and we have Isis, which can be a strong leadership energy. Now in the 12th house as well, it doesn't end. We also have Neptune. We also have Venus. So there's a lot of energy in the 12th house as well that really grabbed my attention. This is a stellium. We have a lot of manipulation and hidden agendas being exposed here. So when we're looking at the sun, Mercury, Neptune, North Node, Psyche, Isis, Saturn, Venus, all packed into that energy, it's not transparent energy. It's not transparent at all. So we're seeing a lot of deception, hidden agendas, behind the scenes deals. So again, I'm saying I think there's more behind the scenes deals going on than what we're even aware of. I think that also had to do obviously with the Saturday Night Live. Oh my goodness, guys. I had like a whole thing of all these links I wanted to talk about. And I'm like, we just have to start fresh with this amended lawsuit. We're just going to start fresh because there's so much I wanted to talk about. But I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes in terms of hidden deals. And what I feel with this energy as well, especially in relationship to the amended lawsuit, is like, we're too big to be taken down. Like, good luck. Look at us. We're at Saturday Night Live. Look at us. We haven't been kicked out of the industry. And so that's a big energy that's being brought. It's also like hidden agendas within the lawsuit. But I think, at the end of the day, the public's seeing through it. Like, we see through the deception. We see through the bullshit. But she's like, I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill. And like, no, you SH'd me and you smeared me. But no, it's a lot of power struggles. It's a lot of power plays. and transformation through destruction. Like, I will bring you down. So that's the main energy that we were seeing with the amended lawsuit. Power plays, emotional energy. Like, this is all her emotions. She's just pissed. She's just pissed. And it's being exposed with Lilith, Hecate, all of this. Zeus. She's just pissed. So that's what the astrology. I'm surprised Jenny Slate stepped out of the drama. I wonder if I'm not really surprised, because I think a lot of people caught on very quick and started to pull up like her old stuff that kind of exposed her. So she was, when we were playing the tarot cards, the hesitant yes. So she was always hesitant. Hello. It's so nice to see you. So nice to see so many familiar faces, guys. She was at hesitant yes. So it doesn't overly surprise me. And the thing is, when we look at the lawsuit, which we're going to pull up in a minute, but it's interesting because it just seems to me like a bunch of BS. Like, it's just a bunch of BS. There's not one screenshot. There's not one text. It's just like, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Yeah, exactly. This is the energy of the astrology. It's like, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, especially when we have that Lilith retrograde energy. That is like dysfunctional, unhinged Lilith in all her dysfunctional, unhinged rage. And with the moon moving over her, oh yeah, this is like, I honestly, and they're demanding a jury trial. Let's pull up. Do I have it? I must have it. There we go. I'll share the lawsuit. We're going to just do a couple card pulls. We'll just do a few. Let me go all the way back up to the top without giving you guys, making you dizzy. Okay, let's switch over. So she's like, jury trial demanded. What? Are you? I don't know. I honestly feel they are so out of touch, and that Lilith energy with the moon, it speaks to it for sure. Brianna doesn't want to be involved. I saw that with, I didn't realize he was in 1923. I actually, other than, what was the one I didn't like? The one with Billy Bob Thornton. I tend to like Taylor Sheridan shows a lot. I did like 1923. I don't know if you guys are Taylor Sheridan fans. I have horses, so I was really drawn to Yellowstone. But I didn't realize he was in 1923 and that there's even a second one coming out. Apparently I'm behind. Okay, let's do just a couple cards quick, and then we'll get into this, because I was just like, I want to see what the cards say about this as well. So let's just ask a couple questions. All right. We'll pull 4. Oh, and the pillar came up as the 5th one. Interesting. All right. We'll touch on the pillar as well. Okay. Yeah, obviously. What is Blake? Oh, let's do this. So 4 of coins are my favorite deck. That also is horrible for live streams, but that's okay. 4 of coins. So what does Blake hope to achieve with this lawsuit? Tearing it down, guys. She's on a rampage. This is all about like being so attached to like image, material, success, and not wanting to lose. She just doesn't want to lose. So this is like, it's literally going in with the astrology of, this is fear-based, emotional-based decision-making. She feels threatened in some way. So she's making these decisions on like, I'm not like dog with a bone energy, right? Not going to let go because I don't want to give up my money, my power. I don't want to give up control. And this is the same energy that we were seeing with the moon moving through such powerful places in the 7th house, moon moving from Libra to Scorpio, moving over Zeus, Lilith, Vesta, Hecate, all of this dark energy. Yeah. She just wants to hold on to power. And this goes right into what we were seeing in the astrology as well. Can you pull cards if there are bigger forces up there to take down Ryan and Blake? We can definitely do that. She is delusional. I agree. I missed you. I missed all of you guys. Oh my goodness. I honestly, it feels so good to be back. I feel like a little bit off my game, and I'm very, like I said, very tired because I've been up with the puppy, but it just feels so good to be back. It's funny. It's like finding your feet again when you come back from a break. All right, next one. What does Justin want to expose? What's his role with all this? The moon. So when we're looking at the moon from this perspective for him, this is going to be like exposing illusions, calling out the illusions, exposing deception, things not really being what they appear to be. So you're wanting to like push that to the forefront. You want there to be a revelation. You want there like the mystery and the confusion to be lifted. So that's, it makes sense with everything we've been seeing. And I don't think, at the end of the day, it requires the cards to tell us that as well, because it's so obvious. It's so obvious that she's doing this, Four of Coins, to avoid losing power and because of material wealth. And it's so obvious that he's doing this to get rid of the illusions. Everything he's done has been in response to her. And it's really interesting. Actually, I want to pull it up before. I'm going to show you guys. I don't know if you guys have noticed before we flip over to the lawsuit, but I'll pull it up after we pull a couple more cards. Yes. So he's trying to expose what is real versus fabricated, especially with the moon. Like, yes, of course, there's a money aspect involved, but to pull the moon for him, it's not about the money. Like, it's not necessarily about the 400 million. It's like, I need to expose this. I need to expose what was going on and reveal the truth for people. All right. Oh, maybe, what's interesting, Mel? You asked that question. I had pulled a fifth card sitting here, and I was like, I didn't even have a fifth question in mind. So I bet we'll talk about that. I bet that's what it is. Okay, who has the upper hand? The psychopathic Delulu. There is a level of Delulu in this that I have not seen in a long time. Hello, Mint. It's so nice to see you. Oh my goodness, it's so nice to see so many faces, guys. Okay, so Blake has always been the devil when we pull. I mean, if the shoe fits, right? So she's always been the devil reverse when we ask who has the upper hand. So that's definitely not Blake, right? This is definitely not Blake. It's suggesting that she overplayed her hand and things aren't as airtight as she expected them to be. Like, this exposes for me when we ask who has the upper hand, like, it's obviously Justin because she's in detriment here. But it feels this energy of like, she felt it was going to be a win, like a slam dunk. I don't even play sports like that. But I feel like that's an appropriate analogy. She felt like it was going to be a slam dunk. And Justin, he's not trapped anymore. So it's this energy of like, she's now trying to cover her ass, the devil reverse. So Blake is not in control right now. Well, she thinks she is. I feel like she just feels she's, I don't know, casting the next movie or something. Her double-spaced amended lawsuit is so unhinged. I can't be the only one that knows it's double-spaced. Did you guys notice it's double-spaced? My university professors would have just been like, and you're redoing this as a 0. I don't know. It's giving like changing the font and font size to make it look like you have more than you do. All right. So final question. Well, we'll do yours, Mel, as well, because I think that fifth one that fell out is definitely in relationship to your question because it came through around the same time. So does she have a smoking gun? 4 of Cups. Like, reevaluate your life, girl. Blake, reevaluate. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have a smoking gun. Like, this is a very clear no for the smoking gun for Blake. She doesn't. This is like reevaluate shit. This is take a seat because things are falling apart. So no, she does not have there's not. And I think that's very clear. At the end of the day, you can talk about all this stuff that she included in the amended lawsuit. We're going to pull it up. We'll have a quick look at it. But at the end of the day, like, if there was something, don't tell me you're just like being polite and demure and it's like, oh, I'm just holding it for trial. I don't believe that. And this is coming from someone that in the beginning, I was literally defending her in the beginning. So my background was in psychology. Not as long as astrology and tarot, but I actually was a counselor. I worked at women's shelters. I worked with battered women. And so for me, when I have such a drive to believe victims when they come out. Doesn't have to just be women. Believe victims. And so I was on here in the beginning, if you see my original videos, and I'm like, y'all take a seat. Like, just wait, see what she has to say. And then this all. All right. So what was the question? Full cards of bigger forces up there to take down Ryan and Blake. So the pillar suggests yes. So the pillar we've pulled multiple times over time. That was a weird way of saying it. Lack of sleep. Showing people that's either supported Blake and Ryan or supporting Justin. So in terms of the context that it's been pulled, it's always kind of sat between cards as like representing people that are supporting them. We've pulled it before for Justin and it represented his wife. We pulled it before for Blake and Ryan, or for Blake in terms of like her dragons. So we've always, with the two of them, or with this whole thing, pulled the pillar when it's a yes to people supporting. Yeah, so I think I don't think they have, let me just pull a couple more, but I don't think there is anyone supporting them as much as they think. I don't get that vibe at all, especially with the pillar in response to that. Thank you for asking that question. Yeah. Yeah, they're fools. There's not people. The star reversed. 5 of coins reversed. Yeah. Seeker of Wands. We've pulled the Seeker of Wands in the past, has always, remember, do you guys remember? So those that have been here for a while, do you remember we pulled the Seeker of Wands with the Chariot when I was like, someone's going to come out and support Justin. And then the new lawsuit, I think it was Jeff Wallace against Blake, had dropped. So there's still someone else coming out against them in support of the Hanged One. So the Hanged One or Hangman has always been Justin as well. Ruler of Cups. Yeah. Ruler of Wands. And look at that. The Lovers reversed. And the Lovers have always been Blake and Ryan. So Mel, I would say the answer to that is I wouldn't be surprised if someone else comes out in support of Justin because of the Hanged One and against Blake and Ryan. Yeah. They're fools. So yeah, I would say that there's people supporting him for sure. I would say for sure based on that. Even the others, she can't even mention names or evidence. Yeah. So I want to show you guys one thing before we get here, because this is just interesting to me. She talks in Judges. Do I have it up still? Yeah, I did see that though, there it is. That Taylor now apparently isn't talking to her at all. There's a couple people in my world that, like, from this community that have reached out that know Taylor through Travis. And apparently what I've been told is Taylor's been under a lot of pressure for a while to drop Blake, that she was going to be problematic. Okay. This is what I want to show you guys quick before we get over to the amended lawsuit. So amended lawsuit. But if you put in Blake Lively and amended complaint lawsuit into Google, so, she talks about him and manipulating the narrative. If you pull up any of this, and this was all ready to go in the morning. Like, this was all ready to go first thing in the morning. With a new lawsuit, an amended lawsuit. I don't know why I keep calling it a complaint. Amended lawsuit that dropped at like 11:59 p.m. And all of these were ready to go in the morning. And look at the title of all of them. Every single one, every single title is about the other women that accused Justin, apparently, according to Blake, because Blake was apparently the HR department where everyone was coming to Blake and telling them her problems or telling her their problems. But every single one, if you click on them, has the exact same headline. 2 other actresses are prepared to testify against Justin. Blake Lively claims other women raised concerns about Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively alleges Justin Baldoni made 2 other, Blake, girl. We see through you. I honestly think she thinks we're idiots. These are all the same titles. Oh, looks like TMZ pulled it down. That's hilarious. Like, look at this. You can't make this up. Every single one is pretty much change one or two words, the exact same headline. But Justin's the problem. All right, girl, whatever you say. The public's just idiots. That's just wild to me. Oh, I agree. Taylor is, I think I actually have that article up. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I did have it up. So Taylor Swift no longer speaking to Blake Lively, apparently. And like I said, people have reached out to me that know, they're not like besties with Taylor, but they know her through kind of the Chiefs world. And they've said that she's been under pressure for a while to drop Blake. And so it's just confirming, like, all tree pain, y'all. Like, this is all tree pain. This is the new age social media. This is new age how it all goes down, right? Like, this isn't, when they talk about sources, it's because Taylor's not going to come out like she used to back in the day. I'm not a Swiftie, but one thing I do know about her is she used to like be very busy online with her fans. No, it's sources now. That's how they communicate. So Taylor Swift's shock involvement in Blake Lively's highly publicized legal roller coaster has ended a decade-long friendship. So it looks like, Taylor's just taken more steps back from her. Taylor's not communicating with Blake. She was invited to SNL 50, but with Blake there and Kim Kardashian, it was the last place on earth she would want to be, or she would want to be seen. Taylor is taking stock of which of her friends are good for her. And this is, again, something that people have ended up in my DMs and my emails telling me that know Taylor through Travis Kelce. That people, and they've been like, you have got to take a step back. Like, you've got to reevaluate. And so this goes right. And that's why I like this insider, this source is clearly tree pain, because this is the stuff that was being told to me before this article came out. Like, we're going back before Alaska passed away. So this would have been, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that I was getting messages about that. And this just came out, I think it was yesterday. So anyway, apparently she has a new album in the work. That's actually a smart move for her, for Taylor. She needs like some good PR, and it has not been good PR. I think she really expected the Super Bowl to be better for her than it was in terms of PR, and she got booed. I think putting together a new album is fantastic. Maybe she'll, like, I don't know, have some thing about Blake. I don't know. Why do Ryan and Justin look washed out and sick, but Blake looks so glowing? Yeah. Yeah. And all of the pictures. Is it a PR stunt? In terms of Taylor, I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. Let's not forget that Sony HR never received any SH complaints. It's so nice to see you, Nancy. I've been, it's really cool because I've been doing a lot of astrology calls for the community. So I took a week off of even doing like any client calls. I just basically just healed. And, but I've been seeing some of the community. I started taking client calls again on client calls. So it's been really cool to hang out with some of you guys in different capacities as well. So yeah, that is, I think Taylor's definitely, I don't think it's PR in terms of like it not being true. I think Taylor is, she's done. I think she's over this. Okay. I'm going to take a picture. I wrote down some, where did I put the pages I definitely did not want to miss? Because, well, ADHD, and then I'll definitely miss them. So let me just take a picture with my phone so I have the pages. I was just like scanning it this morning and I'm going, oh my gosh, these are pages that we need to hit. Okay, perfect. All right, let's do this. Let's have a look. Okay, first of all, jury trial demanded. I think she's like Amber Heard. I get the same vibes from the two of them. And I think it's kind of the same mentality as Amber, where she sees it as a win in some respects. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to pull up, speaking about lawyers, I wanted to pull up Legal Bites. Let's see if I can find it. Have you guys also been keeping up on I know we always do the blind items. Okay, where is it? Oh, she's been posting a lot. Let's see if I can find the one I was looking for. This is what I want to share. It's from a lawyer perspective too. Like, I'm not a lawyer. I've worked in the psychology field, and I am an astrologer and tarot reader, but not, damn it. Did I pull up the wrong one? No, I didn't. There it is. I just have too many screens open. All right, we're going to get back into the flow. It's okay. Been off too long. Okay, so Legal Bite says in her first amended complaint, which I think was really the lawsuit. I think everyone's just starting to like blur complaint and lawsuit. Blake Lively has changed what she alleges about what happened while filming the slow dance scene. Did you guys see this? Now that the footage has been released for everyone to see, she's changed it. So we all know what she originally said, right? We've been there, we've done that. But look at this. So she talks about the same stuff, like Mr. Baldoni did not provide notice or seek consent for any intimacy in advance. Instead, Mr. Baldoni chose to spontaneously improvise the scene while the cameras were rolling. So this is like the same old, same old. But what I found so disingenuous and sickening to me is now she's like, oh, okay, so there is audio, and now I'm going to manipulate what happened within the audio, right? So completely changing her story. Amber, Meghan Markle, oh my goodness, have you seen the As Ever? Oh, yeah. I just cannot keep up with all the pop culture stuff going on. Yeah, she believes she's been used. Yeah, exactly. There's some issue there. Thank you so much, P. Blake looks puffy, in my opinion. She does look a bit puffy. It kind of looks like she got her lips done again. Filled again. Okay, so the video footage of the scene shows Miss Lively to be trapped. Okay, this is so disingenuous. It really upsets me. And this kind of stuff upsets me even more because, again, I have a past working as a counselor in women's shelters. And I would work midnights where women would be coming running with their kids in the middle of the night. Like this stuff and misrepresenting of stuff like this just really grinds my gears. So the video footage of the scene shows Miss Lively to be trapped, having to appear as though her character was happy and in love while the cameras were rolling. That is not what, girl, if you read the book, you would know that is not that scene. He is pursuing her and she's meant to feel like she's playing coy in that scene. She's playing hard to get in that scene, right? She's not meant to be playing in love because at that point in the movie, I'm sure she's attracted to him, but she's not in love with him. He is pursuing her and she's meant to be playing coy, like, you know, chase me, come and get me, but, you know, I'm not going to let you kiss me. So maybe her and her lawyers, instead of, I don't know what they were doing in the lead up to an 11:59 drop of this, should have read the book. I don't know if this is done in like straight up bad faith or they just don't know because they're going by, or Miss Lively herself wrote this double spaced crap, right? And I don't know, like, are they being disingenuous? Let me know what you guys think. Or do they really not know? Because Blake's like, no, I'm supposed to be deeply in love with him. And like, look at me, I'm pulling away. Clearly no one understands acting. Miss Lively did not want to film additional takes on the scene, but continue to participate to be a team player and support the production in real time while simultaneously expressing and holding physical boundaries against Mr. Baldoni's advances. They are acting. What am I missing? Miss Lively even referred to Mr. Baldoni as a sociopath at one point during the exchange. She calls him and his wife sociopaths for staring in each other's eyes. She doesn't call him a sociopath because he keeps like trying to kiss her. What? And I found, actually, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Let me know in the comments if you've seen it. I saw a interview, and I can try to find it again, pull it up if you guys want to see. It's like a short clip. But it's just interesting because it's with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively from A Simple Favor, the first one. And the interviewer asked, like, how'd you guys develop all this chemistry? And Anna Faris talks about like how they just sat there and stared in each other's eyes. So it's okay when Blake does it with people, but he's a sociopath if he does it with his wife. And they're completely misrepresenting it here, and they're double spaced so that we can make it look like there's something here with 141 pages. But if we actually use single page or a single space, it'd be like 80 pages. Amended lawsuit. Notwithstanding Miss Lively attempt to humor and levity her words, there's also interviews with Miss Lively. We've played it here on the channel, guys, where she says she uses humor and levity in situations where like she doesn't know how to be serious. Like she doesn't, like she just turns everything into a joke. She doesn't know how to deal with emotions. So saying that she attempts humor and levity when her own words have said that, you know, whenever there's like emotions, I don't really know how to deal with it. So I just like make jokes. Now, could you turn that and be like, well, see, yeah, she actually isn't uncomfortable because she was using humor, but she also said it's just like in any situation where there's emotions. So in that situation, they're talking about like how him and his wife like intensely stare in each other's eyes. Not everyone wants to do that. I don't know if I could do that. That's not really my jam. I would be, you know, that's not how I am in relationships, but all the more power to him. I'm also a big fan of things like The Notebook and those like epic love stories. So I am kind of a softie with that. And I get it. And I wouldn't call someone a sociopath for it. But anyway, I regress. When Miss Lively later objected to this behavior, Miss Baldoni's response was, does anyone proofread this? Miss Baldoni. So apparently now Justin's wife was there. Response was, I'm not even attracted to you. Yeah. Blake is sucking spiritual energy out of those around her. Yeah. This is wild. And then, so what does... So she says, also this entire paragraph referring to Miss Shatner, purported intimacy coordinator, has no business being in the complaint. Again, it's a lawsuit, but whatever. They're essentially shoehorning presumably expert testimony into the case without any form of voir dire process. It's clearly for the PR, not the suit. And this is like an actual lawyer. So that's interesting. Is that, I think that's the same intimacy coordinator that went and like did a public thing. Is she the one? I can't remember all the names. I can't keep everyone's names straight, but I think she's the one that came out and was like, from watching this video, they seem uncomfortable. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, so she wants the jury trial. Like this is, and we pulled cards for this last week, or not last week. It would have been like 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, so Justin, yeah. I think he's going to be just fine. Hanged one, pulled again. That's always Justin, right side up. I pulled cards saying this was going to go all the way. And it was the same day that a lot of people, like a lot of news outlets were saying they'll probably settle. And I think Brian Friedman that day also said they would probably be open to it, stipulating certain reasons, right? But yeah, I think they're going all the way because I don't think Blake and Ryan, but again, like pulling the hanged one, I think Justin's going to be just fine in terms of like the case. I think it's very likely his career might be very, I don't know. It's interesting that Seeker of Wands keeps coming up. I feel like there's someone going to come out again for him. But this really got me. So starting the complaint, she uses his words against him. And this is what really, you know, gets to me when we look at just this whole situation, to be honest. And we look at the Me Too movement and we look at kind of this pushback against, you know, the believe all women and the pushback against that. Sorry, I have dog hair all over my nose, which is driving me nuts. Just because it's believe the victim. Just because someone had said these words, and I'll read them, but just because someone said these words doesn't mean that they just roll over. And I think that was part of the problem with Justin, to be quite honest. If I'm being honest, and I don't mean that as like a slight against him. We've pulled up his human design, we've pulled up his astrology, and at the end of the day, he's very open in terms of his charts. He's emotional, he's very spiritual, and I think it was very easy to steamroll him and steamroll over that. And I almost wonder if it's like, well, you let me push you around for this. Like, why don't you push me around like for this? Because you said that it's, believe women. But anyway, they started with using his words against him yet again, which seems to be their MO over and over again. Are you confident enough to listen to the women in your life, to hear their ideas and their solutions, to hold their anguish and actually believe them, even if what they're saying is against you? This doesn't mean, Blake, that men should just roll over and believe whatever you say and let you destroy their lives. That's not what he's saying there. And will you actually stand up and do something so that one day we don't have to live in a world where a woman has to risk everything and come forward to say the words "me too"? To me, this is being completely taken out of context. For me, and let me know what you guys, I haven't watched all of his talks. I haven't watched all of his, or like read his book, although I do intend to buy it and read it. I did watch his most recent, the podcast that dropped right after Alaska passed away. I can't even think of it anymore, but he's like very deep. He was quoting bell hooks. I have bell hooks books in the house. You do not quote bell hooks if you're just like a fair weather spiritual awakening person. You do not quote bell hooks if you're just someone that is doing it to be performative. Like people that are being performative in terms of self-development and spirituality, I know because I've been in this world for so long. Like I'm going to tell you who people quote if you're being performative. They quote Tony Robbins. They might quote Eckhart Tolle if they're a little bit deeper into the spiritual world. And you know The Power of Now. Let me know if you guys have read The Power of Now. Great book. But you're looking at like Tony Robbins, Eckhart Tolle, if you're like, you don't want to be too obvious. If in that interview, in that podcast that dropped about a week and a half ago with Justin, if he had started quoting Tony Robbins, I'd be like, this guy might be a little bit more performative than we think. Like this guy might be a little bit more sleazy and shady than we think. But he was quoting bell hooks. Bell hooks is like boobs deep in your spiritual awakening. Bell hooks is eyeballs deep in understanding the nuances of self-development, shadow work, healing the inner child, and the psyche. So, as soon as he quoted bell hooks in that, I'm like, okay, this guy's legit. Yeah, I think I do agree. And I know Megyn Kelly got a lot of pushback around this in regards to saying that Justin might have been a little bit of a doormat. I think she said it in different words. I think it's, part of his karma to learn a little bit of a tough lesson. Honestly, I feel bad saying that, but sometimes when you go, and that was me originally when I went on my spiritual awakening journey and I have ADHD, Justin has ADHD. So I also understand like that fawning aspect and rejection sensitivity. And that's very real. But I also know when I first went on my spiritual awakening journey, it was like really, really deep in it. There was an aspect where I was like, and people will accuse you, right? Like if you hold boundaries, I've had this so many times when I first started in my spiritual awakening journey, like publicly, where if you like misstep or you hold a boundary, people are like, oh, you think you're so good, you're on your spiritual awakening journey. Oh, and like people will tear you down and say vile things about you, try to call you out when it's like I'm having a human experience. Like, what do you expect? I'm not perfect. But you do get to a place, and I had gone through that phase as well, where you're afraid people are, especially with ADHD rejection sensitivity, you're afraid people are going to like be upset with you or call you out. So yeah, you do absolutely go through a fawning phase. And I ended up like in a tough place. And this is going back 5-6 years ago, because it was like this awakening within my awakening of, oh, I can go on this journey and I can spiritually awaken and I can heal and also have strong boundaries. I can heal and also have like a little bit of a sharp edge if people push or are rude to me. Like I can still stand up for myself. Wow. Right. Because there's such a, I don't know if like usually, in my opinion, doormat might not be the word everyone uses. I see it as rejection sensitivity. I see it as like truly desiring to, like, being nervous about triggering other people, which is very, it's ADHD. It's legit. It's real. The issue I have with people removing Ryan's autonomy, he's a grown man. His wife isn't that big. Yeah. Well, I think they're both in it. I honestly think they're both in it. I think the two of them are thick as thieves, Blake and Ryan. I honestly do. I don't think letting either of them have a pass is appropriate, because I think they're both in it thick as thieves, the two of them. So this is the first thing that really got me, guys. It's misrepresenting again. They like to misrepresent. It's misrepresenting what Justin said and his intentionality behind it. Because for me, what he's saying here is, if you're the one abusing someone and someone speaks up about you, can you kind of take a seat and listen? Can you work on yourself? And if I look at from just like the surface level, admittedly, I haven't gone on a deep dive. One day I might have time between everything in my life. But, from the surface level of what I've dove into of Justin's work and his beliefs and his journey, this seems to be his journey. He's realized he's messed up. He's realized he hasn't been perfect. And so he's been going on this journey of trying to improve himself. And I think that's what he's trying to get to here without putting words in his mouth. Hi, Julia. Hi, sweetheart. You coming to say hi? Hi. The puppy has to potty. Okay. Hi, Tundra. Hi, Julia. I know I'm not done yet. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Why don't you go potty, sweetheart? Good girl. So that was the first thing that really stood out for me. She does it multiple times in this. Now, she says, at his own moment of truth, when forced to confront women he had made uncomfortable on his own set, he trivialized their concerns and failed to take accountability for the efforts of his behavior, whether intended or not. And when faced with the predictable consequences of having created a toxic set, see, this is also what bugs me. And I'm sorry, guys, this is my first stream coming back after losing Alaska, and it's just been a really tough week and a half. So I appreciate you guys as I get back into the swing of things here. Yeah, Bell Hooks is a feminist icon. She is just an icon in general in the spiritual awakening field. She's an icon in really bringing Jungian psychology forward in terms of the maiden to mother journey. So she's like the mother of the maiden to mother journey, which is helping women over the threshold from maiden to mother. Yes, I am also very deep into the spiritual awakening field. Bell Hooks is like quite literally the mother of the archetypal journey for women. She took a lot of the Jungian approach, brought it over to make it into something that's tangible. Her and Marion Woodman, someone else that's really fantastic. For anyone that wants to dive into that, Marion Woodman is also fantastic. It's a lesson. The hardest lessons hurt in my experience. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a tough lesson. And and again, we might not all agree over the verbiage, right? Like, would one person use doormat over another? I really do believe, and I do I had intended, it's all ready to go for you guys, I just haven't recorded it yet, had intended on doing a video to help people understand Justin a little bit better from the ADHD perspective, because that's actually also my past in the psychology field. But I also struggle with it as well. So keep an eye out, because that will be coming now that I'm back into the swing of things. So Blake's team says, and when faced with the predictable consequences, okay, so rather than holding himself accountable, Mr. Baldoni hid behind his billionaire friend and retained publicists, crisis managers, digital media strategists, and litigators to mount a sophisticated and well-funded retaliation campaign that sought to bury and destroy anyone that challenged his brand. So if he sought out to destroy, sought out to destroy anyone that challenged his brand, why isn't he smearing the other two apparent, alleged by Blake Lively, victims? Why is it only Blake? That's what I want to know. If he was set out to destroy anyone that challenged his brand, one, why was it only Blake? And two, why did he wait until she started dropping all this shit? Because she was out here dropping all this stuff about how there was discomfort on set, and she claims that she was just following the marketing strategy, but her and Ryan's business was the one doing the marketing strategy. Like, it's just bizarre. The campaign succeeded beyond Mr. Baldoni's wildest expectations. No, Blake, we just don't like you, and we just don't trust you. I'm almost like offended, guys. Like, I'm almost offended, because to try and save Alaska was like $13,000. I'm not even making that number up. $13,000, and I still lost my best friend. You know, if people that were speaking out about Blake were getting paid, that wouldn't have been a big deal. Because I'd have billionaire money. I have like Justin's billionaire friend funding me to make these videos, and it would have been like no big deal. Yeah, Khaleesi talking about a billionaire friend. She is just wild. So no, Blake, we just do not like you. We don't trust you. And again, this is coming from someone that was telling everyone to take a minute in the beginning because we should trust victims. And you made me eat my words. And we pulled the cards, and it still says that there is no smoking gun. And I don't think there is. I think that if there was, it would have come out by now. In fact, the defense actions have created such a toxic climate of online vitriol against Miss Lively, her family, and other members of the cast, and various fact witnesses that all of the above have received disturbing threats. Threats are not okay. I will never be okay with threats. Threats are not okay. And it's not him. Like, people just don't like her. I'm not condoning threats, but how do you link this back? And that's why I think there's this big fishing expedition for 2.5 years worth of text messages, because now they have to try and like go back and try to find anything that proves that there was something, because I really don't think they have anything. Hello, I am back. It's so nice to be back with you guys. You guys give me life. So it's so nice to get back into the swing of things. My poor husband's like babysitting the dogs while I'm with you guys. But it just like, I needed this. My soul needed this after losing Alaska. So yeah, I like one fact witness known to publicly support Miss Lively recently received a written threat. I'm not going to read exactly what happened, but unfortunately, these threats aren't just because of smear campaigns. Creators get them all the time. Creators get swatted, which is life-threatening. People get killed being swatted. A lot of the creators I followed during the Johnny Depp trial got swatted. Horrific threats made to them, and messages. For the last 5 years, me being online, I've gotten horrific threats and messages through fake accounts. So I just don't understand how she says like, okay, well, it's because of Justin. The people can just be horrible, and it does not excuse it. But I just don't understand how you link it back to Justin. I still don't understand. That, unfortunately, is the internet sometimes. And people get swatted and horrible shit happens. I think there was actually a creator that, was it the dog or him or someone? I think someone actually died from being swatted, which is, have you guys heard of that before? So SWAT's like, people will see you streaming online, they'll figure out where you live, they'll call saying that there's like something really bad going down in the house. So you get the SWAT team there, and the SWAT team goes in thinking that there's like something absolutely horrific going on, but it's just like a creator, a streamer, and their family sleeping. And you wake up in the middle of the night to the SWAT team there who thinks that like something horrific is going on in the house. So you can imagine what happens and what has the potential to happen. Miss Lively was not the only one who was uncomfortable on set, and Mr. Baldoni and Wayfair knew it. After Mr. Baldoni, and this is also someone, Blake, that admitted to, in her own words in the past, admitted to being someone that poisons people against someone on the set. So I also find it hard to believe someone that consistently, in their own words, has said like, yeah, I turn people against people on set if I don't like them. I poison people and I won't admit it. Like, it takes me time to admit it. I just struggle to believe someone that has, in their own words, like, what's the saying? Believe someone when they tell you who they are. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. After Mr. Baldoni learned, and we're not going to go through the entire thing, I just have some pages that I want to hit on with you guys. So after Mr. Baldoni learned that he had caused Miss Lively and others to feel uncomfortable, he turned his TED Talk and feminist advocacy on its head. And I didn't read all this. I just like saw points on each one. So we'll both be surprised with some of the stuff together. He did not hold himself and other men accountable. Why should you be held accountable if you didn't do something? I want to see, like, there was a lot that came out claiming that major news publications would not publish those alleged complaints from other people to HR. If TMZ isn't even posting it, there's something wrong. If TMZ won't even post it, something's wrong. She's told on herself so many times. Like, all of these people, just like, what's his name? Is it Ari from WME? Being like, yeah, I fired him because I support, like, I hope that he gets sued now. I'm waiting for a lawsuit of him being sued. Like, they just are so arrogant that they can't help but tell on themselves. Okay, so, or take his own advice to be confident enough to hold their anguish and actually believe them, but instead used a louder voice to silence Miss Lively and anyone else who might speak up. That louder voice, amplified by publicists, crisis managers, digital media teams, and lawyers, has sought to mislead the public into believing that Miss Lively did not experience sexual harassment by portraying her as a powerful bully who fabricated claims of misconduct in order to seize control of Mr. Baldoni's movie. I have a video where I touch on, which I'm still working on. I am so far behind on everything. I full-time work with clients. So I have a full client load. I do sessions for astrology for clients, human design sessions, and then the farm and everything. So I'm behind now. I took the last week and a half off. But the thing that really just, I don't understand is there is literally a playbook they have. I call it the Trojan horse playbook between her and Ryan Reynolds. There's a history of them doing this. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say. It is like, by the book, how Ryan took over Deadpool. More importantly, the defendant's false narrative crumbles under the indisputable truth that Miss Lively was not alone in complaining about Mr. Baldoni and raised her concerns contemporaneously as they arose in 2023, not in connection with some imagined power play for control in the film in 2024. Well, that doesn't prove anything. To me, you could have been planning all along. You could have been planning from day one. Why didn't you sign the employment contract, Blake? Do you want to come up, Jewel? Come on. You can come up. So that, to me, means nothing. On May 24th, 2023, Miss Lively confided in a text to a woman who was a mutual friend. I'm guessing this is Liz Plank. Let me know what you guys think. You do not need that, sweetheart. Let me know. I think it's Liz Plank. She confided in a text to a mutual friend, I was going to invite you to set tomorrow. These people, whoa, it's like HR nuts today. The both of them. I wasn't expecting that turn. I mean, it's been present, but today I came home and cried. So she had said earlier in this amended lawsuit that she wasn't including text messages from other people, but she can't even include her own. We're just supposed to, like, what, trust you, bro? That this was all said? Where's the text, Blake? Like, that's just weird to me. Like, Justin's team was so transparent and putting, like, the full, like, all these text messages back up. And she's like, just trust me. I'm just going to put quotes here. Heard of swatting. Gamers have done that to each other. What is wrong with people? I think she genuinely believes her lies too. Honestly, I have people in my life that genuinely believe their lies. I have a family member that has sent me, like, has set up, I shit you not, fake accounts to, like, send me hate mail over the years. And she, like, we know it's her, and she just believes her own lies, believes her own crap. There's so many people in my life that, like, I've met around along the years that are like that. I believe it. I think that Blake got caught up in the web of her own lies. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. What do you do now? Like, what do? You either admit it, that you made everything up, that it was all a power play from day one, that you were going to take control of the movie from day one, that you and your husband colluded with Taylor Swift from day one. You either admit all of that or you go all the way. And then what she can do is play Amber Heard's card, where after all of this, she can go to court. Maybe she wins on one thing or not. Like, I think Amber for Adam Waldman, I think was his name. She won on, like, statements he made to the media. And so you, like, twist it into a win, or you just like twist it into a win because the jury pool was tainted because of his smear campaign. Like, I feel like that's her only move now. I honestly think, sorry guys, still trying to get rid of a cold from all the stress of the last few weeks. I honestly think that's her only move. It's to do what Amber did and then claim like tainted jury or whatever. Depp still did get daily threats, on X, even 2 years later. I still see them where it was proven H defamed with actual malice. Yes, and I still see them online. That's wild. So I think this is Liz Plank. I didn't know. Did we know up to this point that they were mutual friends? I didn't know. So apparently, creeps ... Well, what did you leave out if this is even a text message? Why do you need others' text messages when you came and share your own? Like, I don't understand. Like, keep your hormones to yourself. This is not mine. I don't want it. I don't want you gaze or words or tongue or videos of your naked wife yet. Shocking clowns. To me, all this does is if she has proven and said in her own words over and over and over again, I poison people against people. To me, this could just go to support Justin of, oh, Ryan worked with her. I didn't realize that. Okay, that makes sense. To me, this just goes to like her poisoning. This doesn't prove that it happened. If you all along, potentially, allegedly, had this plan to take over, and there is a video of Blake with Colleen Hoover where they already know, obviously, that Justin owns the rights to the second movie. And the interviewer asks if Blake would do it again and with Colleen. And they talk about, basically, if they could get the rights, Blake would go anywhere with Colleen. So don't tell me this wasn't some kind of weird, we're not stupid. The public isn't stupid. This isn't the days of like, you got your news in US Weekly at the grocery store because you couldn't see it. Like, I'm that old because you couldn't see it online in real time, right? This is a completely different age of like citizen journalists. And the interesting thing for me with the May 24th, if memory serves, I think the 23rd was the date with the sex, or no, not the sex scene. It was the birthing scene. So I don't know. I think it's just twisting things. You also see her in the interview around the little bump where I just feel like she takes things really personally. So even if you said something and it was not meant to be like rude or awful, I think she would still twist it. Yeah, the public did not know this was the beginning of a multi-tiered plan that Mr. Baldoni and his team described as social manipulation. They're still taking the like, this is someone that you could sit, I swear you could sit in front of Blake and be looking up at the sky together and be like, the sky's blue. And she'd be like, no, it's purple. And she would legit sit there trying to convince you it's purple. And you would go mad with the gaslighting. Hello, Denise. It's so nice to see you. It's so nice to see you. Yeah, I agree. I think she's poisoning people. She said she does it. I don't know. I think she's going to be the best witness for Justin in trial. Like, just play her own words. It's like with Amber Heard, right? When you play her own words and you're like, this you? That trial was wild. I was so captivated. Oh my goodness. I did not get any work done at all. It's like constantly, I'm like, this is the time to fix the admin stuff behind the scenes so I can just stream this all day with Emily D. Baker. So she says, this is Blake. That plan was backed by virtually unlimited resources. Yeah. Okay. Don't tell on yourself, Blake. So you didn't expect him to have money to fight you. Yeah. Think you might have told on yourself here. So that plan was backed by virtually unlimited resources. Wayfair's co-founder, co-chairman, and leading financier is multi-billionaire Steve Sorewitz, who divulged to a witness at the film's New York premiere on August 6, 2024, that he was prepared to spend $100 million to ruin the lives of Miss Lively and her family. This one, 27. I hope Sorewitz sues her for defamation after posting this. Have you guys seen this? Ooh, denied subpoenas from now. Thank you for updating us. Updated on court listener. Oh my goodness. That is great news. So denied the subpoenas for now. Judge asked to come back by February 24th. That's wild. That's good. Especially, I wonder what carrier said that they would give all the information that they wanted. No questions asked. I wonder if it has anything to do with Mint. Anything to do with Ryan. Any connections there? Maybe. So this is just, I hope he sues them for defamation. This is horrific. That was not the only time Mr. Sorewitz. And here's the thing. Where are all these ghost witnesses, Blake? Where are all these ghost witnesses? Because it's a lot of quotations, no proof, no emails, no text messages. Even if she truly was like, I'm such a good person that I'm not going to include the text messages of these other women to protect them until court. I could maybe get on board with that. But why isn't she including her own? She's still quoting herself, trust me, bro, with even her own. She doesn't have anything. Like, I just don't see it. I don't think she has anything. So that was not the only time Mr. Sorewitz made such a threat. Later in August 2024, even though the film had turned out really well and Wayfair had made a lot of money on it, Mr. Sorewitz confessed to another witness. Who are these witnesses? An individual who was working with Wayfair on an unrelated project that if Miss Lively or Mr. Reynolds ever cross the line, I will go after them. He declared, I will protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas. I just can't. I can't, like, hi, Julia. I know. You're fine. Are you saying hi? Hi. Oh, okay, sweetie. I'm not done. Julia, I'm not done, sweetie. Okay, sit down. You can sit with me, though. Good girl. Not much longer. There were 39,000 bodies, and there'll be 2 bodies when I'm done, minimum. If they ever get to that point, then I'll make it worth their while because I'm going to spend a lot of money and make sure the studio is protected. I hope he sues them. Supported by Mr. Sorewitz, financial backing and militaristic worldview. I don't know. Isn't he someone that wants to donate billions of dollars to charity? They would call it a militaristic worldview. Mr. Baldoni and his Wayfair associates embarked on a sophisticated press and digital plan, which she cannot prove other than through manipulated text messages, in retaliation for Miss Lively exercising her legally protected right to speak up about their misconduct on set. My question more than just all the baloney here is, how do you double space everything? How would it take a lot of mental energy to go through and double space almost everything? Yeah, you would think they have the right. I agree. Why didn't these women go to SAG? If they didn't go to their union rep, it hurts their credibility. I agree. Apparently, it's because Blake is the HR department. I agree. That Israel comment is nasty. If he's did he say it? Who knows? Who's this ghost person? Who's remembering even this, like, word for word? I don't know. I don't even believe it happened, to be honest, or even in that context. But I would be suing if that didn't happen. I would be suing for defamation because that is, and even including that, that's just to get people riled up, including that in the lawsuit. And because that's going to, like, stir up a lot of emotions, as it should for a lot of people. And I honestly think the only reason that was included was to stir up emotions. I agree. It was weird to add. I agree. They're trying to make it political to split people. Yep. Oh, he can't sue because it's a filing. Oh, shady. That's ridiculous. But I agree. Like, oh, now I have dog hair everywhere. You just rest with me, Julia, as it snows dog hair. I agree. You start to add political stuff in, and you're going to split the tides, and you're going to get people. Now people are going to start fighting each other, and you're going to start splitting each other over that. And it's like deflect. It's wild. A lot of this stuff we know. So I think where else did I want to go? 26, 115. We're going to scroll a little bit. Close your eyes if you get sick. I'll let you know when we get there. It's a journey. Julia, you're fine. Julia's my dog, not used to me streaming anymore after like just relaxing the last week. Okay. So contemporaneous messages with witnesses prove that Miss Lively's concerns about Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, and others' concerns began early in the pre-production process, long before the editorial process began. Because of the lack of protocols, Miss Lively initially struggled to find a way to navigate the increasingly troubling behavior to which she was subjected to on set. Again, I don't believe it. This is someone that is in later, you see her basically bragging about how much everyone loved her and how powerful she was, and how Justin and team weren't afraid to leverage who she knows and her power. So on one hand, you're telling me you are wildly powerful, and the other hand, you're telling me you have no power. Which is it? I agree. If something, and it's so nice to see you. If something really happened, you wouldn't have to add politics to have a solid case. I agree. Why is it 141 pages when it sounds like it hasn't helped so far yet? Exactly. Double spaced 141 pages. I can't even imagine sitting there and be like, between every single word. I feel bad for whoever had to do that. That would drive me nuts. On or about May 23rd, 2023, during a particularly difficult day on set, she and a female cast member talked to each other about how uncomfortable they were both feeling. The same cast member later reached out to Miss Lively by text to express appreciation and relief to be able to commiserate about their shared experiences. Again, no text messages. Even if you want to say, again, devil's advocate, if you want to say like, I'm Blake and I care so much. I hope no one pulled in the driveway. They're not gonna be able to get out. There's so much snow. I care so much that I didn't want to include their text messages until court. I'm trying to protect them. Why can't she include hers then, her own? I don't know. So this person reached out apparently because now Miss Lively is the HR department. So people aren't going to their union. They're not going to HR. They're not even going to the police. They're going to Blake, apparently. So this person said, thank you for taking the time to say this and also for taking the time at your lunch. I felt untethered today and you grounded me. Well, I don't feel like she does that out of the goodness of her heart, even if she did. I'm sorry for what you've experienced. I wish I would have been there to witness it for you and not. Oh, so no one witnessed it now? Blake? Where are all those witnesses going? And not that you need me to, but I sure would have loved to have run my mouth about it. Thank you for not only witnessing me, but for coming in with such eloquent and safe backup. You were able to be bold without being inflammatory, which is such a tightrope, and I really appreciate it. What do you guys think? Yeah, sounds gossipy. And here, at the end of the day, who hasn't complained about their boss? You know, who hasn't complained about their boss? Who hasn't called their boss an ass or whatever? That's why I work for myself now. I don't want to work for others. That's why I work for myself. But who hasn't complained about their boss? So not everything has to be this big thing. And I still don't understand why we're not seeing messages and actual proof from Blake. And why wouldn't the other supposed women complain? Why didn't they sue Justin? Yeah, and Wayfair themselves. I agree. And if he did have this huge campaign against anyone that was coming out against him, why isn't he doing smear campaigns against everyone else? Why is it only Blake? I do agree with this. I think she knows she lost the public. Now she's trying to keep Hollywood. I do agree. And I think that's a big piece of the Saturday Night Live thing as well. I agree. So apparently they want to talk to the Sony exec. When Miss Lively reached out to Miss Giannetti, who was supportive, Miss Giannetti texted Miss Lively. That reminds, like, now I'm thinking Anyway, my ADHD brain's like on Brooklyn Nine-Nine now. That what I did want to review, discuss feels very, very small in light of today's news. I'm so sorry, calling you in moments. So she can include pictures of this. I don't know. It's just, it still feels very cherry picked, like what she is sharing. Miss Lively and the female cast member discussed various examples of their uncomfortable and inappropriate interactions with Mr. Baldoni. And on May 28, 2023, Miss Lively explained that her concerns were not just with Mr. Baldoni's behavior, but the way that Mr. Baldoni behaved after being confronted with his line-crossing behavior. He kept referencing it, or disconnects entirely, or gets snippy and impatient as a director. He was so huffy after the sexy thing, I felt awful for saying something. Was he huffy? Or was he just like, that wasn't my intended, how you took it wasn't how it was intended? That's not huffy. Also a good point. And why did they text Justin thanking him for a comfortable set and great experience after filming? He has a receipt, she doesn't. Exactly. If there was that much of a problem, they could have just remained silent. And if there was that much of a problem and they knew that all along, they could have just not said anything to him. Just like close the door, but that's not what happened. Hello, Vanessa. This woman has been bullying, poisoning, firing people from sets more than a decade, and now she wants us to believe that she became a warrior protecting cast and crew. Yep. Was he huffy or was he just, yeah, you were just being annoying, and he was like, that is not what I meant. Exactly. Exactly. Like, that's not huffy. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier with even my own experience, having gone on like a spiritual awakening journey and talking publicly about it, is you do actually get people like this, where if you stand up for yourself or you're like, oh no, like that's not what I meant, people are like, oh, what's your problem? Are you triggered? Do you have to heal? Should you do more healing? Obviously your work wasn't working. Your spiritual healing wasn't working. I don't know if Blake would understand what triggering is, but you know what I mean? So people will see you as like huffy, and then they throw it in your face of like, I thought you were so healed. So was he huffy, or was he just like, that is not what I meant? People can have boundaries. People can stand up for themselves. That same day, Miss Lively continued by observing that both she and the female cast member are not people who can't take a joke or who can't work or understand what? Okay, back up. That same day, Miss Lively continued by observing that both she and the female cast member are not people who can't take a joke or who can't work or understand blue. Am I missing something there? Is that in reference to something that I'm just not understanding? What does that mean to understand blue? We're not that fragile. Referencing Mr. Baldoni, she said, you just can't record people without asking. You can't speak to people sexually while not in character. Or she's the one that initiated not being in character. He was very clearly in character in the dance scene, if that's what she's talking about, or while talking about a character. And if you overstep, you move on. It's the weirdness after that makes it feel bad. Like if we speak up on the vibes on set, get funky and the work suffers. Maybe people just got tired of you, Blake, and that's why the vibes were off. I know when I'm finally like over someone's shit, the vibes are off. But it's just because I'm over them. And again, that's why I work for myself, because I can choose who I work with, whether collaborations or clients, and I don't have to worry about this. It's wild. Gaslighting, yeah. Gaslighting will make you crazy. It'll make you lose your mind. If the HR complaints that's were circling the other day are real. Oh, yeah, the ones that had been going up, they could have been receipts in her complaint, but where are they? Exactly. I agree. That's actually a very good point. I don't see them anywhere. Other than apparently these other two women, but Blake's too good of she's too much of a Daisy or Lily or whatever, flower, that she would never bring other women into it. It's like, well, where are these women? I don't think they really want a piece of this. I think that you look at Brandon, right? He's backtracking now. When he's asked, like, is he team Blake or team Justin, which I think is hilarious. Who was asked that in an interview. That is the best thing I've ever seen. And he's like, like, I'm team movie. I'm team It Ends With Us. One, where was that passion when you were promoting It Ends With Us? Where were you talking about the power of the message back then, first of all? But two, he's obviously backtracked. Because if you really believe in someone, you're going to have their back. Look at Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, she sued, was it a DJ for $1? She donated Kesha. She supported so many women that are speaking up about this very thing. This very thing. And T Swift is like, peace out. I want nothing to do with you. Peace. So the more information that comes out, people are like, the rats are running from the sinking ship. That tells me more about Blake than anything else. Do you think that she's not unlikable and just has crunchy energy? So, Aaron, that's a good question. When I first started, so my original breakdown of her astrology and human design, I had said, I was like, I think she just has crunchy energy. Like, I didn't know much about her. I knew more about Ryan. And I said, I don't think she necessarily is like a quote unquote mean girl. If you look at her energy, it can be taken crunchy. Like, it can be taken really almost aggressive with her energy. However, I think she's just used the shadow of her astrology, used the shadow of her human design, and unfortunately is stuck in a lot of her wounds. And I do think she has crunchy energy regardless in terms of her astrology and human design. And it's just like that much worse because she's so stuck in the shadow with it that you can't ignore it. So it's like grating. It's gone from crunchy to grating. Where was the next part I wanted to look at? Yeah, so it's interesting because she does have text messages when it suits her. So this one here about the studio wanting to support her. This is from Ange Gianetti. Hi, Blake, it's Ange. I just tried your cell a few times, but call wouldn't go through. So glad Todd is in it now and overseeing everything, but wanted to check in, offering anything I can. I know this has been beyond challenging to say the least. We at the studio want to support you best we can. I'll be on set for majority of shoot other than a few days around the long MLK weekend when I have to be in LA for some doctor appointments with my son. Let me know if there's a good time to try you. And to me, this doesn't prove anything because even if there was a scenario where she was making things up to poison the set and poison people against him, just because someone said, hey, like, my gosh, we want to support you. We're so sorry things are going on. It doesn't mean anything because she could have been saying anything. And it's just like, it's so hard to believe her when over and over and over again, she's told the truth on who she is. When people tell you who they are, believe them. So she wants us to just not believe everything she's been saying for the last 10, 15 years. We just don't believe anything she said about herself. I don't know. So, here's where I want. So, Mr. Baldoni and the Wayfair potties. I've been saying potty too much with the dog. Do you need to go potty? Do you need to go potty? Now I can't even talk. I'm losing it. Mr. Baldoni and the Wayfair parties have falsely claimed that Miss Lively took over the movie as a self-aggrandizing power play. Well, she did. I mean, it's pretty clear with the receipts that he has had. The defense's entire accusation will rely on Miss Lively and others fabricating malicious claims nearly a year before an edit. Yep. Through Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath repeatedly engaged in inappropriate behaviors with witnesses and corroborators in real time. Where are these witnesses? Like, I am here. I will backtrack. You guys will see me do a live stream, be like, holy shit, this is a smoking gun. I wish she would have put it out before. But I think if there was a smoking gun, one, we pulled the cards. Tarot cards said, no, they're like, girl, chill, because there isn't one. And two, I really think if there was this smoking gun, it would have been out already. She wouldn't be backtracking, saying, oh, sorry, yeah, now that there's audio on that dance scene, like, look, I called him a sociopath back then. Like, clearly all this was happening. Well, no, girl, did you listen? Like, listen with your ears, Blake. it was in reference to him and his wife staring in each other's eyes, not around SH. It's a great term, crunchy energy. Instead of me trying to analyze why I feel weird, I'm using crunchy energy too. Take it. Yes. I say that a lot with clients on calls when I'm doing their astrology and human design. You never want to be like, it's bad energy, it's bad vibes. It's crunchy. It's crunchy. That's so funny. They describe the HR complaints here in the amended complaint, but don't submit it. Yeah, exactly. So if those are real, why didn't you just submit it? I don't know. The assertion she bullied her way into the edit room is also false, apparently. If she was not happy with the film, she could have easily just moved on to her next project. Well, yeah. That's what I'm questioning. If you were so uncomfortable on set, thank you, Blake. Thank you for putting that, because if you were so uncomfortable on set, if things were so bad and you had not even signed your employment contract, why didn't you move on? It's a good question. She had other offers for directing jobs before, during, and since the film. If she wanted to direct, she could have done that at any time without having to deal with the Wayfair parties. So why didn't she? Am I the only one that sees this as like proof that things weren't what she was claiming? Because if they were so bad, her own lawyers are saying on page 55, if things were so bad, she could have just walked away. What? What? I just can't. And here's the thing that got me when I was scanning through this. She includes, so she doesn't include proof that anything happened that she's claiming, but she includes all these freaking text messages, guys. This slays me. Like, I am slayed by this. So she can't provide text messages that support all this horrible stuff that went on set, right? Like, not from herself, not from others, but she can include text messages of people pumping up how amazing she is. That's just wild to me. So, hi there. I'm sure Josh is updating you on the huge response to the trailer. 108 million views in 24 hours. Just incredible. But I'm texting to thank you. So, she's amazing, guys. She's excellent. Her work is truly beautiful. On August, I can't laugh because I'll start coughing. But what? On August 11th, 2024, after the film's release, Sony exec Miss Giannetti wrote to Blake Lively, Blake, $50 million, your blood, sweat, tears, brilliant smarts, heart and soul in every single frame. My God, it's incredible. Thank you 50 million times, and it's only Saturday night. Is anyone else seeing this? Guys, she already admitted that she could walk away from the set at any time if it was so bad. And now the only proof we get is about how amazing she is. Well, that's a good point too. Where's the text that day to this person? Good point. Good question, my friend. I think it's crazy that she says I can improvise kissing, but he can't. Oh my goodness. Is that really in a footnote? She is wild. Blake wants to. I think she's like turning this into a script. Maybe that's where she's going to get the authorship she wants, is like to turn this into a script and sell it. Although no, well, maybe that is, because she did say she can't work with a blank. That's why she edits other people's work, because she can't work with a blank sheet of paper. So she can't come up with her own scripts. She can't come up with her own playwrights or whatever they're called. She has to take someone else's work, but maybe she'll just take her lawyers, and turn it into a script. This is wild. I hope her lawyers drop her and make a live stream about how crazy she is. They can write their own movie, I'm sure, after this. But yeah, this is just weird to me, where we're not getting any proof, any support, any receipts. We're getting literally quotes, like sentences and quotations that her lawyers wrote out, but probably Blake wrote out and Ryan wrote out. By the way, those complaints to HR sound a lot like Ryan, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. We ain't got time to pull it up today. I promised my husband I'd be under an hour. We're already at an hour and a half. So but we can include all these screenshots about how amazing she is. The story Mr. Baldoni and the Wayfair parties have told since Miss Lively filed her opening complaint is completely at odds with their behavior when trying to produce and market the film. Before Miss Lively sued, Mr. Baldoni and the Wayfair parties were perfectly happy to exploit Miss Lively's star power. She loves, yeah, star reversed. Girl, your star power is going down as we talk, as this all goes on. So, yeah, like, I'm such a star. So he was happy to exploit. She said she called in all the favors. There was video of her saying it was a low budget film, so she called in favors. No one exploited that. I can't, like, I can't imagine dealing with someone like this in life and being stuck on a movie with them. Like, no wonder he was just like, give her whatever she wants because I just want this to be over. No wonder. She is out to lunch. There are talks. It was the hidden talk where she talks about how Taylor was involved from the very beginning. It's that one. Where it looks like someone from the audience filming and she didn't realize she was being filmed, where she's bragging about how it was this low budget film. So she reached out to everyone. I don't think Justin was happy that she was doing that. I've never got this gets me riled. Oh my God. So he was happy to exploit Miss Lively's star power as well as her access to A-level filmmakers, editors, and more. No, it seemed, what? There's literally text messages of him horrified that she was firing people and having people fired. What? I can't. Whew. Indeed, although Mr. Baldoni privately confessed that he did not even see the final cut of the film because you wouldn't let him. Guys, I can't. I am turning red. It feels like I have a fever. I can't. In her own words, she's a control freak. Yeah, there's evidence hidden. The editors got locked out of seeing the cuts of the movie. Sorry, guys, I'm sorry. When I get so worked up, like, I just get intense. But this is like, this is a lot because this is the complete opposite of what he provided proof of. Wow. Indeed, although Mr. Baldoni privately confessed that he did not even see the final cut because you locked him out, lady, and you made him sit in the basement. I cannot even deal with her. He repeatedly and publicly took credit for the film. His film? His film? It was supposed to be his film. Blake. I haven't read it, obviously, in this much detail. This is like first look for me. Well, Miss Lively generally downplayed her contributions. Justin Baldoni, it looks like August 5th, 2024. Well, if you decide to change your mind last minute, let me know and let's figure it out together. I'm going to be there. That's just different timing and holding areas in theaters and all the things you can imagine. It's still our film. Yeah, because it is. Editor 2. It would be very hard for me to sit and watch the final film for the first time at the premiere. Just cheer for us when our names come up. Sending all love. Justin, okay, yeah, I haven't seen it either. Is this supposed to be... Is this supposed to be her proof? Is this supposed to be her proof? The delusion here is undeniable. I'm mad too. It helps nothing. It just makes her look more crazy. I get worked up because I'm a victim. I'm so sorry to hear that. And she's preventing people from getting heard because of people like her. Yep. No, Ryan didn't write the complaints. Deadpool did. That's good. I can't believe that's proof to her. If she actually believes this, I genuinely think I'm at a point where I feel, to a degree, I feel bad for her. If you're that deluded and that disconnected from reality, that this is proof that you were in the right. I said in a previous live that I thought she needed to go on a spiritual retreat. I think she needs a psych eval after this. If this is how, like, I am again someone that in the beginning was like, she just has crunchy energy. Hold off before calling her a mean girl. The irony of Wayfarer's complaints should be lost on no one. It's Mr. Sorewitz, Mr. Baldoni, and Mr. Heath that have reaped the greatest financial benefits from Miss Lively's hard work, about which they now complain. She wasn't hired to do any of this. She was hired to be an actress. The film quickly became Wayfarer's most lucrative project, to the record-breaking tune of over $350 million. I want to know how much it would have made, Blake, if his cut was released. I want to know how much it would have made if a better cut was released. The cut that actually got better reviews. The cut where people wouldn't be afraid to go see it because they don't want to support you. Could have been 500 million, 600 million, 700 million. Just because it was a success doesn't mean that they got the greatest financial benefit from your hard work. I'm talking to her as if she's watching. I am now at the point of this stream where I am talking to her as if she is watching. It was underwhelming. Yeah. I ended up giving it. Originally, I was like, I'm not watching it. And then I gave in. I think that was the first night my husband had, or that was the night my husband drove to take when Alaska was still alive. He was at an emergency room. He had to be moved to a higher tier ICU unit. And I remember just being home and I was like, I need a distraction. And I put it on. And I was like, especially the rooftop scene was horrible. Absolutely horrible. It was all, it really read like that banter that you see Ryan and Blake do online. I just cannot believe the audacity. Revealing the financial success of the film, they now incredibly accuse Miss Lively of hijacking, but she did. The movie being a success does not mean she didn't hijack it. Oh. When one interviewer congratulated Mr. Sorewitz on the film's impressive 50 million opening weekend, Mr. Sorewitz responded the film had actually grossed 80 million worldwide, about 2.5 times what Wayfarer expected, remarking, "We're thrilled with that." You can still be thrilled and all of this hijacking still be going on behind the scenes. It seems as long as Miss Lively stayed silent about Wayfarer's misconduct, defendants were content to continue collecting paychecks from the film they now claim to be hijacked. What other choice did they have, though? Am I missing something? What other choice at that point? Like, for them to come out and trash their main star does not benefit anyone. Oh my gosh. And defendants have done so, even though throughout the process, Mr. Baldoni engaged in stunning duplicity, praising Miss Lively to her face and in public, while secretly disparaging her in private, implying to bury her alongside the truth of his own behavior. I don't see that as being duplicitous at all. I thought he was really nice, and I didn't see anything that was released so far that confirms, other than her manipulated text messages, that he was plotting all of this. Like, I think she is just so in her own head that she genuinely cannot believe that people just don't like her. Oh, look at that. Oh, isn't that nice of them to bring up politics and war again? Just in case anyone missed it at the beginning. She had to quote Mr. Sorewitz again and how he would protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas. Oh, yay. So, as detailed above, Miss Lively and fellow cast members promoted the film in accordance with the talking points and marketing plan during appearances on red carpets, interviews, press junkets, fan events, and pop-up experiences leading to the film's release. Which she also doesn't address, that the marketing plan was made by her own company, by her, like a company that her and Ryan own. That did they read the timeline? I feel like I'm being punked. Did they read his? I don't feel like they read his lawsuit, his amended complaint, looked at the timeline. Because there's proof, and he has text message proof where she calls basically her family and the marketing company they run, the mafia, and they're going to take care of it. And he doesn't need to approve anything. The marketing plan related talking points expressly require Miss Lively, as well as all other cast and crew, to engage in promotional activities to focus more on the character's strength and resilience, as opposed to describing the film as a story about domestic violence. But she's the one that created that marketing plan. At that point, Mr. Baldoni pivoted away from the film's marketing plan and explained his absence from the rest of the cast. Well, because you exiled him. He shifted his focus away from the message of female triumph to instead capitalize on female trauma. Oh, my Lord. Oh, what do you guys think of this? What a mess. Oh, interesting, Ruthie. That's a good point. Just got the Israel reference. She's putting that in the lawsuit because Justin is yeah. That's right. Israel descent. I forgot about that. Well, this woman is too much. You guys kill me. Oh man, my blood pressure is like through the roof. After the film's premiere, Mr. Baldoni changed his Instagram profile, canceled lighthearted social media posts, and instructed his team to look for survival reactions and support, all in an effort to quickly shift his own public narrative to focus solely on survivors. Like, what a bad guy wanting to highlight survivors. What a bad guy wanting to focus on the actual theme of the movie that Blake would know if she had read the book. She has more texts out of context from Justin Baldoni, and Mr. Baldoni strategized with his publicist, Miss Abel, about various ways in which they might cover up or explain away his on-set misconduct. For example, Mr. Baldoni proposed an offensive move showing his neurodivergence and some of the attributes that come with it. I don't think talking about, like, I think that was also taken out of context. Talking about his neurodivergence and his ADHD, I just don't see how that, I don't know. Okay. I have ADHD. I work with a lot of clients that are ADHD. Sometimes you are just literally socially awkward. Sometimes you are just awkward. I have a lot of clients. I actually also help clients build businesses, helping families with children that have autism or PDA. I work with a lot of incredible clients that are doing amazing things in the mental health field. I've also worked as a counselor. I don't see it as like him, even if he had wanted to talk about this, because, of course she shares this text here, as him trying to excuse like harassing people or SH. You can also talk about is like, this has been part of my journey, and the ADHD or the mental health challenges I've met have been a piece of why I've wanted to heal and why I've wanted to go on this journey without it being about trying to explain SH. I don't know. All right, we're just gonna have to fly a little bit for the rest. We'll probably do another stream on more. Where was I think there's one more. We're gonna go down a little bit. Don't look if you get seasick when I scroll fast. We'll do another stream. I do have to help my husband out though with the dog, so I promised I would be only an hour. Yeah, it's still we'll pull up some of these on another stream maybe tomorrow. but I have a note to go down. So what are you guys feeling about this so far? Oh, and here's the text. We saw this one before between Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel. Hey guys, read the TMZ thing, read the HR complaints. Our understanding is that 2 were from Blake and blank. Read the sexy comment. Is the additional one from blank. Read the thing with Jamie in her apartment in New York City. Just wanted to clarify. So we already knew about this text, but I think it also goes to show that if there was an issue with one of the actresses and Jamie Heath, that has nothing to do with Justin. Nothing to do with him. So if that's where the 3 come from, why all of a sudden are there 3 against Justin? And then Jennifer Abel to Melissa, I think we need a position as claims that were already out there about the kiss and the weight comment. Like, this is all out of context. Where's the rest? I honestly think that they are going on a fishing expedition to try and figure out what's going on. Because I don't, like, here's the thing. If she was that uncomfortable on set, don't you think there would be text messages between like her and Taylor, or her and, I don't know, Gigi, her and her husband, like all of these text messages, or Ryan texting her and be like, hey babe, how are things going today? Are you comfortable? Is he doing anything sketchy? Like, to me, there would be text messages between her and other people that prove, or like her and Isabella, or her and Jenny, or whatever. But I would assume, especially her bestie T Swift, there would be text messages that would be showing that these issues were there. But instead, she has to take these out of context text messages between his team. So on August 10th, 2024, Miss Giannetti texts Miss Lively, congratulate her on the success of the film's opening. Miss Lively replied to Miss Giannetti, this was a horrifying shoot, and the only way for me to make peace with that was the work and the success of this film. And it was so horrifying. Guys, she didn't sign her contract. She could have walked away at any time. So she says, and everyone rallied behind that in the end, and I'm so grateful for everyone's hard work, yours included. I couldn't be happier with how it turned out, the film and the reception. So everything was good until public narrative shifted on her. But it had to be someone else's fault. On August 12th, 2024, a female cast member texted Miss Lively concerned about online commentary and asked what could be done to stop all the negative comments. On August 13th, 2024, another cast member, like, I don't even doubt that, like, say Isabella or something messaged Blake Lively and was like, oh my God, this is my first movie. What is going on? I can't even imagine how horrifying it would be for someone like her in that situation. Oh, that's right. The HR complaint. Thank you, P. HR complaint Wayfarer had was allegedly ageism. Yeah. Maximum effort for your everyday Lulu marketing strategies. Yeah, go do maximum effort for that. Wild. Hi, Lily. It's so nice to see you. Yeah, she still hasn't read. It's very obvious no one on her team has read the book. Still, to this day. But yeah, I could believe this on August 12th, 2024, that maybe Isabella first movie was like, Blake, what is going on? Like, how do I stop this? That has got to be horrifying for her to deal with that. So I believe that. I think it's taken out of context here, but I do believe it. On August 13th, 2024, another female cast member sent Miss Lively an article reporting that Justin Baldoni has hired veteran PR crisis manager Melissa Nathan amid the release of It Ends With Us. Miss Lively's response was, yeah, the truth always comes out, as painful as it is to wait. Where's the text message? We can only include text messages out of context for Justin's side? Or if people are propping you up about how amazing you are? What? On August 14th, 2024, the same cast member texted Lively to ask about her well-being and express her concern and respect for Miss Lively. Later, that cast member expressed regret at what Miss Lively was going through. I don't doubt that, especially if you've been poisoning and manipulating people. On August 15th, 2024, another female cast member wrote to Miss Lively about the online bullying that cast member also was receiving as a result of being associated with Miss Lively. and asked Miss Lively who to ask for help to have it stop because it was becoming difficult to cope with the onslaught. I don't doubt that either. That's probably I bet that's Jenny Slate. Although I think it's more recent that we did a live here talking about all of her sketchy past. And then I had people like saying that her tweets weren't concerning. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Those are definitely horrific tweets to be making. And then joking about beating the crap out of your boyfriend? What? So I don't even doubt that this stuff happened. On August 15th, 2024, it's taken out of context, but I don't doubt it. Another female cast member wrote to Miss Lively about the online bullying that cast member also was receiving as a result of being associated with Miss Lively. Like, it doesn't even surprise me that people are like, Blake, WTF, and make it stop. On August 18th, Miss Lively observed that the online hatred and target against her was incessant and getting worse because people don't like you, Blake. People do not like you. The internet is, what does Emily D. Baker always say? The internet's going to internet, right? The internet, as soon as you start giving them fuel with grab your girlfriends and your florals, it's like a bunch of rabid dogs where everyone's like, well, now it's on. It is on like Donkey Kong, and we are going to find everything about you. And that is what happened. And that is what the internet does. You don't need a smear campaign for that. As this onslaught continued, Miss Lively, or it's like another, not even Donkey Kong, it's like Mortal Kombat or something. Jeez. As this onslaught continued, Miss Lively was deeply disappointed that neither Wayfair nor Sony had stepped in to correct the record. On September 4th, 2024, she received a text from a Sony exec checking in on her and asking how she was doing. Miss Lively responded, "I'm not in a good place. This has been deeply painful, and I feel so hung out to dry from production to this PR crisis. No one stepped forward. I wish so much that I was okay, but I'm really not." But she's okay enough. Like, she keeps talking about how distraught she is, but she's not too distraught to go to SNL. Okay. And not just go to SNL, but make fun of the situation. And also make fun of the situation in Deadpool. Okay. Blake Lively tried to include Sorewitz in the creepy group, declaring in the first complaint that he was there looking during... Oh, that's right. Vanessa, good point. I forgot about that he was there looking during the birth scene. He wasn't even in the same city. Good point. I did not catch that. That's why it's like a team effort here. You guys also help catch things. But that's a good point. It's just like, this is just a bunch of bullshit. Going on about all the lawsuits, all the retaliatory stuff. So similarly, she claims before filing this amended complaint, Miss Lively attempted to depose. So is this a complaint or a lawsuit? I thought it was a lawsuit. I don't know. Who knows anymore? Miss Lively attempted to depose Wallace in Texas to investigate the nature and scope of Wallace's role in implementing and carrying out the campaign against her. Mr. Wallace repeatedly evaded and obstructed Lively's persistent efforts to serve him. Worse, Mr. Wallace's counsel made blatant misrepresentations during Lively's efforts to serve him, first agreeing to accept service and later denying such statements were made and refusing to comply with alternate methods of service. While refusing to accept service and weaponizing the results of such refusals, counsels for Mr. Wallace additionally insisted upon pursuing in-person service of Miss Lively, even though her counsel accepted service. Why is she pulling him into this? Like, I don't understand why he's now a part of this lawsuit when he wasn't originally, and they have their own lawsuit. Like, is she just trying to group everything together? Mr. Wallace's counsel continued to threaten to pursue Miss Lively with personal service, even though she had accepted service already, unless Miss Lively's counsel agreed to accept his unwarranted demands, including one fraudulent attempt to gain access to Miss Lively's property by falsely representing that the process server worked for a food delivery service. Well, I don't know. Wasn't it like, didn't Olivia Wilde get served on stage at an event? Like, I don't know. People do things to serve you. I think it was Olivia Wilde. That was wild. She kept it together. During the TED Talk, Mr. Baldoni displayed numerous screenshots and media coverage of himself from various sources as examples of his decision to use his social platform as a kind of this Trojan horse wherein he could create a daily practice of authenticity and vulnerability. Mr. Baldoni then claimed the response has been incredible. It's been affirming. It's been heartwarming. I get tons of love and press and positive messages daily. Okay. And everyone has a brand. Like, I don't understand what she's trying to get at here. Around the same time that TED Talk in 2017, Mr. Baldoni announced the launch of a male talk show through his media company Wayfair Entertainment called Man Enough. Through that show, Mr. Baldoni sought to have public conversations on camera that he had never seen men have. In one episode of his show, Man Enough, Mr. Baldoni hosted, I'm not going to be much longer, including Mr. Heath and others in reaction to the Me Too movement, to collectively learn from each other, from experts, and hear firsthand from women and try to figure out how we can be better allies in our responses to our actions. In the episode, Mr. Baldoni questions the group, who at this table has seen something and didn't say anything. I mean, objectification, harassment, and then not said anything. Like, so is she using this as like he should have just rolled over? I think that's what she's saying. Like, then you should just roll over. It's so nice to see you. Really happy to be here, Ashley. And oh, it's such a good group here. Oh my goodness, it's 3 a.m. Oh my goodness. Don't apologize. You should be sleeping, my friend. Imagine Camille Vasquez questioning Blake and Brian Freeman destroying Ryan in court. That would be amazing. I wish it was televised. Yeah, like, I just feel like she's pulling up all these words he said to try and use his words against him and be like, that's why you should have rolled over. Mr. Baldoni's own words, his activism starts in the mirror with an audience of one, which I think is exactly why he's gone on his spiritual awakening journey. Like, that tracks for me. That's why he's gone on his spiritual awakening journey, to match his actions with his words. And, you know, he even says this in that one podcast that came out a couple weeks ago. There's never a point where you're just fully healed. And I actually can't stand when people like Blake use the spiritual awakening and healing journey against people, because it's not like you're perfect one day. That's not even the point of it. It's recognizing and actively working to be a better human. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone does. Oh, I know life is crazy for you. I appreciate you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. It is kind of crazy, but one of my favorite things is honestly hanging out with you guys. So I appreciate each of you. But yeah, like, and so this is just, I can't stand when people use someone that's like it used against someone that they're going on a spiritual awakening journey and trying to be better, and then they're supposed to always be perfect. Blake is doing the exact thing that just like makes me sick to my stomach. Okay, we're going to go over this, and then I'm going to have to let you guys go because my poor husband's trying to hold down the farm and the dogs and the house, and I feel really bad because I promised it would only be an hour. Okay. So now she's bringing in screenshots. Like, I honestly think she planned this, right? Like, these are all screenshots now that she's bringing in regards to the simple favor or another simple favor or whatever the other one is. Now she's doing screenshots, right? It's like, look at how people, who gives an F about your stupid movie? Who did you blank off for your part? We know how it works. You know, she's taking these screenshots as what? Proof that Justin's still smearing her? Poor hubby, I know. Bless his heart. He's a trooper. I was like, it's so important for me to hang out with everyone today. It's important for my own healing journey to get back into the swing of things and have some normalcy. And he was like, I got you. He actually lost his phone in a snowbank. We have like 6 feet of snow on the farm right now. And he's putting off going to get a new phone today so I can do this. Thank you, my friend. It's just an honor to be here with you guys, honestly. Yeah. So look, she's still claiming that this is all him. And all this proof, all the negativity spikes, couldn't be her. Oh my gosh, they're pulling in the screenshots. Why is Blake Lively's name placed higher than Anna Kendrick's? Is it also her edit? Yes, there's TikToks on this because she probably bullied them into it. Anna hates her too. See, I can't laugh. Start a coughing fit. I think that is hilarious that she is pulling these in now to continue to blame Justin. The announcement immediately faced a steady stream of comments. So this is the announcement of a simple favor to, or whatever it's called, repeating the false and harmful statements invented and perpetuated in smear campaign financed by Mr. Sorewitz and executed by defendants. People just don't like you. No one's being paid. I'm not being paid. I would have a lot less problems in my life if a billionaire was paying me to stream. Instead of taking over so this is another screenshot. Instead of taking over other people's projects, why don't you create your own project? If you want to be project director, producer, wardrobe team, script writer, and with your own money, this is the most logical cue that I'm asking you. Well, it's a good question. Someone says probably because she doesn't have the talent. Oh God, like Blake's out here like she is out here. Maybe when I'm talking to Blake, when I keep saying Blake and I'm talking into the camera directly to her, it seems like Blake is actually out here worried about this. Like she's watching. Why would you take over someone's movie? The outfit for it ends with us. We're so out of touch. I mean, they were. F Blake and Ryan. They're nothing but Hollywood losers who thought they could bully and hijack someone's movie. My theory, she wanted to F him, but he rejected her and she didn't like that. And Ryan found out and now they got a safe face. I don't understand how this is Justin's problem that the internet's interneting. I really don't understand it. This vitriol and violence is unlike anything Miss Lively has experienced in her 20-year career. Because for some reason, she always slid under the radar. That to me is more shocking than the vitriol she's getting. What is more shocking to me is somehow she has consistently flew under the radar for everything she said all these years. That's more shocking to me than the vitriol that's now coming out. But she's just shocked about the vitriol now. And it's like, it's all catching up to you, girl. People are just, everything's catching up to you. Karma's a bitch sometimes. Ask Bestie T Swift about karma. She writes songs about it. Your dragon who wants nothing to do with you, which to me is so telling. Taylor has always been I'm not a Swiftie, but that woman has always been an advocate when she feels women have been harassed or in a situation that her apparent bestie Blake is in currently. And the fact that Taylor Swift is getting as far away from this as possible tells me that something isn't right here. That's more shocking that she's escaped the negativity until now. I agree. She's so delulu that she thinks we're dumb enough to be part of a smear campaign. Exactly. That we can't think for ourselves. And we thankfully are in an age of social media where people can think for themselves. And yes, the internet sometimes takes it way too far. And I'm not condoning that at all. But we are in an age where people can think for themselves. And in an age where nothing disappears. So people are going to find it all. The retaliation campaign against Miss Lively severely damaged her companies. The long-planned launch of her hair care line, Blake Brown, a date which was set more than a year prior to the date selected, not by Miss Lively for the release of the film, was caught up in the crossfires of the negative environment against Miss Lively. People just didn't like that you were promoting it all at once. It didn't sit well with people. And not only that, but the reviews are horrible for it, even before all of this happened. She is wild. Around the same time, the social media accounts for Miss Lively's brands, including Betty Buzz and Betty Booze, were flooded by hateful comments, which began to echo through other social and traditional media outlets. Probably because you named a drink after the abuser in the film. I don't know. Maybe because alcohol has been tied to DV situations forever. And people didn't like the idea that you were tying alcohol to a movie about DV. But I genuinely don't even think she realizes to this day that this movie was about DV. I genuinely don't think she realizes it. I don't think so. She was off the radar because we didn't have so many great investigators on the internet. That's a good point. The internet wasn't that powerful. Very good point. Her mother has name power behind the curtains. Her brother is an agent in her PR. That's a very valid point. Yeah, like your companies are failing because people also don't like how Blake doesn't drink, but she's promoting alcohol. Now, here's the thing. I drink wine. I have drinks once in a while. And so I'm not here to just say like whatever. And alcohol is linked to so many different illnesses, cancers, etc. And so I think people are just like, there's also a movement in society right now. When I was younger, it was more of like a drinking culture, right? And now we're in a very much of a different culture now where alcohol is viewed very differently. And so when you add the fact that alcohol is viewed very differently in this day and age to the fact that it was a movie about DV, to the fact that she doesn't even drink. So why are you creating these companies? It just didn't sit well with people. Oh, now if you have Team Justin hashtags or Justice for Justin, you are part of the astroturfing, guys. All right, guys. On information belief, the astroturfing campaign was responsible for the wave of comments, including cancel Blake, boycott this crap. Team Justin, Justice for Justin, disgusting. You're taking away from women who are actually victims. Shame on you. This is apparently all astroturfing. You guys can't think for yourselves. Remember, you're not intelligent enough to think for yourself. You need celebrities to think for you. You need celebrities to make your political decisions for you. You need celebrities to make your drink decisions, your food decisions for you. You can't think for yourself. This is all astroturfing. Come on, bro. Every day they release evidence. It's really getting bad for you. Maybe it's not too late to take everything back and apologize. Think of women who were actually victims of SA. Doesn't sound like astroturfing to me. And the funny thing is after Blake and Ryan were at SNL, if you go through, so within the first couple hours of the post going up, it was the same accounts on every news organization saying the same thing. And it was people over and over and over and over and over again saying the same thing about how beautiful she looked and how funny they are and how great they are. So you sure he's the one doing it? You sure you're not engaging bot farms, Blake? You sure? I don't know. And one of the last videos I made before I took time off with Alaska's passing was in regards to Taylor and her involvement. And I got hit with a lot of bots after I talked about Blake and Taylor, mostly in defending of Taylor. But it was like the same type of comment over and over from different accounts and like blank accounts. So I don't know. Seems to me every time I see someone supporting Justin, it's a legit account. Yeah, metadata was a good catch, Team Internet. Yep, exactly. And now New York Times put it behind a paywall so that people can't, I guess you could pay, but at least they're going to get their bag, right? They're going to get paid while you like comb through all their metadata. At least they'll get their bag for their legal defense. But that's basically it. Yeah, she's just sticking to the fact that, harassing and retaliatory conduct against Blake continued in various forms through 2024. She's claiming it's still going for her new movie, A Simple Favor, because we can't think for ourselves. All right. What do you guys feel? What are you guys thinking? Oh my gosh, 2 hours, 10 minutes. I also have a video I'm going to record. It won't be live. I'm planning on maybe doing it tonight. We'll see how the day goes on Gabby Petito. I don't know if you guys saw the documentary on Netflix, but man, that story was devastating. So what are you guys thinking about this? What do you guys think? We covered a lot today. We did tarot, astrology. We went through the amended complaint. I think she's just out to lunch. Yeah, I agree, Mel. And IG, I see account supporting Blank with 0 posts, 2 followers. Yeah, and if you go on, like I said, like TMZ, People, all of those magazines, it was the same comments over and over again from like blank bot accounts. So, I don't know. This is just wild to me. I'm excited to see what Brian Freeman says. I don't know. We pulled cards that there's still someone coming out for Justin. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone supporting him. I don't know. Yeah, look at that. What fell out. The Chariot. That one's shown up multiple times when someone is coming out to support Justin. Political stuff was weird. It was so weird. Blake Lively wrote this. It's a sequel to It Ends With Us. It's called It Never Ends. Literally. She's like, oh my goodness, I can have full authorship around this. All right. You guys should check out HD Tutor, a self-declared narcissist. Really? Too obsessed with Meghan Markle, who made 2 amazing playlists about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds separately. Ooh, I think I know who you're talking about now. I was like, a self-declared narcissist. I think I remember from a while ago I found that account. I'm going to go check it out. Her childhood and family dynamics say a lot. Interesting. Thank you for sharing. Oh, prepping myself psychologically, watch Gabby Petito. That history makes me unbelievably sad. It is so devastating. I remember it as if it was yesterday. But I'm going to, the video that's going up about Gabby is her astrology and her human design, and it's going to be done in honor of. I don't really want to go over the details of everything that happened. It's so heartbreaking, but it's going to be in honor of, and just, yeah, she has beautiful energy. I pulled up her charts last night. Absolutely beautiful energy. Just tragic, so tragic. So I'm going to do that video in honor of her. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. Although it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, so it was a lot. Thank you for hanging out with me. My first day back after a week and a half. We will be consistent now with content. It just, usually my time that I've been here with you guys is around 10 a.m. in the morning. It's going to depend on the puppy, and if my husband can watch the puppy's crazy, and I'll introduce you guys to the new puppy. He's helped heal my heart a lot. So we named him Tundra in honor of Alaska. So I thought it was a very traditional, almost corny, husky name. So I have the oddest hunch that Aries sun Leo is heavily involved in some weird things here. Ooh, like the HR complaints and AI stuff. Interesting. I might have to pull some cards around that. I have to look into that. All right, my friends, thank you again for hanging out. You are welcome, Mel. It's always such an honor. You guys are healing to be here with you guys. So thank you for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye, guys.